Greetings, Green Thumb Gardening family. I like to unleash back at you from right here at the Green Thumb Gardening channel, right here in Grow Zone 8B, in the lovely city of Tifton, Georgia. And in this afternoon's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I go about easily propagating sugarcane cuttings. Most of you guys and gals out there who've been following our channel for a while probably have already viewed our recent purple sugarcane harvest from our backyard food forest around at Easley Island. If you guys did watch that video, you recall we harvested about 7, maybe 8 stalks of sugarcane from back there. We told you guys during that video that we would save 1 to 2 of those stalks to grow more sugarcane to plant in other locations in our backyard food forest next spring. And what we've done is some of that sugarcane we've already consumed, and during the process of consuming some of that sugarcane, we actually saved parts of the sugarcane that we knew that we could use to propagate to grow more stalks of sugarcane in our backyard food forest. I'm going to swing this camera around for you guys right now and show you guys what we have going on. These little joints that you see here are the individual joints that form in between each section of sugarcane. Now these joints themselves are almost rock hard. They're totally inedible, and even if you could eat this particular joint, it's not sweet and juicy at all. But these joints are the points along the stalks of sugarcane where eyes, such as this one, form, and those eyes are where new stalks of sugarcane actually grow from. Also, along these joints, you see all these tiny little bumps. Those tiny little bumps are actually the places from which roots form along the stalks of sugarcane also. So during the process of consuming some of that sugarcane, what we did, we saved the joints, the individual joints from in between each of those sections. And what we did was we used wax, hot wax, to seal the ends, both ends of these little small sections like this right here. And we did that for a reason. We're going to be propagating sugarcane using 2 different methods here today. We're going to show you guys both of those methods, and we're going to explain to you guys why we're going to use 2 different methods of propagating the sugarcane. So again, we have about 5 of those joints there. They're already, again, sealed on both ends with wax. Here we have long sections of sugarcane. We're going to be doing a different method of propagation with this last stalk of sugarcane from around there on Easley Island. What we're going to do is cut these individual sections into long sections like this right here. We're going to leave one of those eyes and root sections on the end, such as these ones we have here. And we could cut these off really short and consume the rest of this sugarcane, but we're not going to do that because using these 2 different methods to propagate sugarcane will produce 2 different types of results. So we're going to use one method to propagate these here. We're going to use another method to propagate these here. And at this point, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get you guys mounted on my trusty chest mount here, so I can go ahead and get this last stalk of sugarcane cut up to the length that I need it to be. I'll bring you guys along for that process right here, and hopefully keep you in the frame for the entire process. Alright, Green Throne Garden family. I think I got you guys and gals out there in the frame pretty good here. What I think we're going to do is take this stalk of sugarcane. I'm going to start at this bottom end out here. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this first section off here below the joint that forms, again, in between each section of sugarcane. I'm going to cut it off fairly close right there. Let's toss that to the side. And what we're going to do is come up below each consecutive joint and do that same thing. You guys see what I have there? I have that one eye there at the bottom. All of those places where that root's going to form, those roots are going to form at. Slide that one over there. With the rest of these. Hopefully they don't roll off the table over here. So again, nothing fancy or scientific. Don't have to be a botanist or horticulturist or anything like that to propagate this sugarcane. Anybody can do it. All you need is really a stalk of sugarcane to do what I'm about to do here now. Now you guys can see the sugarcane is still juicy. It's still dripping. It's dripping juice here on this table which every cut that I make. This is sugarcane turned out for us very, very, very sweet this year. It's our first year growing sugarcane here at this location. However, we've been growing sugarcane our entire lives, so the process of growing sugarcane is nothing new to us. Again, we thought we would share this method with some of you guys and gals out there who have never grown sugarcane but do wish to grow sugarcane maybe in the spring in your gardens. Again, just cutting the sugarcane off just below those joints. And we had a total of 3 pieces of sugarcane laying up here on this table already. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections so far from this stalk. This will make the 8th section here. We may possibly get a 9th section here off of this stalk after I remove this little husk that's remaining here. Yeah, pardon my shoddy camera work here. We do have one little tiny eye there that's just beginning to form. And we do have an area here where roots can form from, so I'm going to include this last top section of this sugarcane in our propagation experiment also. I'm going to get it cut off again below this last joint there. I'm going to go ahead and toss that aside, and we can go ahead and put away our trusty Scottle's garden shears for the moment also, because we won't be needing those at any point during the remainder of this video. Now, what we have here, Green Thumb Gardening family, is a bowl, a shallow dish filled approximately maybe halfway with water. So that gives us maybe a half of inch, maybe an inch of water in this bowl here all together. Again, you guys been following our channel for a while, and gals been following our channel for a while. You know we don't use a tremendous amount of water when we propagate anything here. So for this first method, I'm going to give you guys an explanation as to why I'm going to propagate these cuttings here in this bowl of water using this method. Again, the reason I sealed the ends of these cuttings here, the ends, because I won't be standing these cuttings up in water to propagate them like I'll be doing these. I'll be laying these down flat in that bowl of water just like that right there. We're going to go ahead and get all of our cuttings in this dish at this time. Now what we're trying to do is simply get our cuttings in this shallow dish of water. Get in close for you guys so you can see that, with all of the eyes facing up. Now it doesn't really matter. You can completely submerge these eyes in water and they would still sprout, and they would still sprout roots from along these edges. But the reason we sealed the ends of these small cuttings on each end is because they're small cuttings. They're very short. There's not much moisture in these joints here. These joints, again, like I told you guys in the beginning of this video, they're bone dry. And what we didn't want to have is to have our cuttings rot from having a lot of water seep into our cuttings prior to our cuttings actually sprouting roots and developing foliage. So by sealing those ends, that keeps any water from going into these cuttings on the end of these cuttings down here on either end, and it'll allow roots to form along our joints here, and also allow these buds that you see here on the top of these cuttings to sprout and sprout into canes of sugarcane stalks. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and slide this container forward here. I'm not going to leave it here on this table, and we'll get it where we want to actually plan on propagating these cuttings at the end of this video. Now, at the end of it, we have about, I think, 12 cuttings here. We're going to use this container to propagate some of these cuttings in. I'm almost certain that all of these cuttings will not fit in this container. What we're simply going to do is put that eye, the end with the eye on it, down into the water. Again, These are the areas where new foliage is going to form, and also where roots is going to form. We're just going to simply going to stand these up in this cup. We're going to get as many of these in here as we possibly can. We know, again, we won't get all of these cuttings in this cup. And after we get these cuttings in this cup as many as we can, I'm going to come back and explain to you guys and gals out there why I'm propagating some of my cuttings with the cuttings themselves lying down flat, and some of my other cuttings with them standing up in this water like this. A very simple reason. And to me it matters. It may not matter to many people out there, but it matters to me how these cuttings go about rooting, and how well they go about rooting, and what happens after they do root. This last cutting won't fit in the container. We just put it in another small container like one of these over here with something else that we already have propagating. It'll be the same, pretty much the same thing going on over there. Now again, as you guys can see, we have a shallow dish with our short cuttings that we sealed on each end with wax, lying flat in this dish. We have about an inch maybe of water in that bowl, probably not even that much. And our other cuttings that we left the eyes on and the root section at the bottom, we have in this cup over here. Here's the main difference between these two methods of propagation and why I'm doing it. Line your cuttings down flat. What will happen is 2 or 3 or 4 sprouts will sprout from each one of these little sections here. And what that'll do is, when they first begin to form, is this sugarcane will form in a cluster. That means when you plant it in the ground, you'll be planting a cluster of sugarcane as opposed to one individual stalk, or maybe 2 stalks of sugarcane that will be growing straight up in the air. A cluster of sugarcane will grow, it'll sprawl out to the side. Your canes will be crooked, it won't grow straight, etc., etc., etc. Now, it doesn't affect the way the sugarcane tastes, but what it does do is affect the way the sugarcane grows. Now, the reason we're sprouting this sugarcane using this method, knowing that it'll sprout 4, 5, maybe 6 canes from each one of these little eyes, is that we want a section of sugarcane in our garden that we can use as just a seed row. What that means is we're going to grow one row of sugarcane using these clumps of sugarcane that's going to form from these eyes here, from these cuttings here, to form that, to grow those same clusters of sugarcane. We're going to use that sugarcane as seed cane to plant more sugarcane in different sections of our backyard food forest. We'll also use some of that sugarcane to sell to any of you guys and guys like that who are interested in growing sugarcane. These sections here with the eye on it, the ones that we're growing in the upright position, they'll form roots along the bottom of the cane, and the stalks will grow straight up in the air. They will grow straight up, as opposed to this way where the canes will sprawl out to this way, that way, that way, and that way. These stalks here we'll use to grow rows of straight, high quality, edible, and juiceable sugarcane. Now, typically it takes these sugarcane cuttings, regardless of which way we rooting these sugarcane cuttings, it'll take about the same amount of time for these sugarcane cuttings to root as it will these sugarcane cuttings over here. And that's typically about 7 days. This stuff roots really, 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 really fast in the water. 7 to 14 days. All of these cuttings should have clumps of roots on them. By 21 days, we will be planting each one of these individual cuttings into its own container. And about 2 months from now, we'll have stalks of sugarcane that's probably about 12, maybe 13 inches high. But at any rate, Green Thumb Gardening family, these are the 2 methods that we use to easily propagate sugarcane cuttings, and why we use 2 different methods to propagate sugarcane cuttings. Thanks for watching this video. And if indeed you do currently find yourself watching this video and you're not already subscribed to the Green Thumb Gardening channel, please take a moment to press that subscribe button beneath this video, the like button, the notification button, and be sure, Green Thumb Gardening family, be sure, be sure to share this video with your friends and family as well. Thanks for watching.